My name is Cayman Keene, and I am your child's language arts teacher. For this virtual curriculum night, I'm just going to go through my class and some things that you'll need to know throughout the school year. So we're going to go over grades, Schoology, tutoring, how we balance reading and writing, Membeing, required materials, and then contact information. So just a little bit about me. This is my 9th year at North, my 10th year teaching. So I've been in this field for about a decade. I have a 4-year-old Hayes, and I have she's actually 9 months old now, Myers. She's our new addition to our family. I love to read. I developed a passion for reading when I was in college. I joke with the kids that I could live off of wings from Wingstop. They will always see a Diet Coke in my hand typically, and I love chocolate candy. We talk about our favorite things all the time. Something that's really important to me is following a schedule. I'm a pretty type A person, and I love structure. I think that's really important, especially in this age. So following a schedule and having structure is super important to me. And then favorite place to be is by far the beach. Second would be Target by myself without children. So that's a couple things about me. So getting into our day and what a day looks like in language arts, we follow this schedule every day. We do a warm-up for 10 minutes. We do a study section where I usually do like a mini lesson for 10 minutes. They do an activity for their create for about 25 minutes. And then we do a share out where we recap what we learned for the day, go over the learning target for about the last 5 minutes of class. Whether your learner is virtual, whether they are in person, whether they are in class, they're on Schoology, this is how everything is set up in my class. This helps us include that reading and writing process every day. So this is what we follow. Schoology obviously is our most important thing. Still, that's where we house all of our materials, even though we are doing a binder this year, so we are printing out paper, we are writing notes with a pencil. I missed that so much last year. I still upload all documents into Schoology. You'll notice that the communication I've sent out it's set up just like our class period is. So if learners are out for medical reasons, for vacations, they can find their materials each day there in Schoology. So what Schoology looks like, so a day in Schoology, also a day in my classroom, is learners can go to that blue learning folder at the very bottom. This is where all of our content is located. Then what they can do is they can have an overview of our weekly agenda. So it's like a brief little point about what we're doing every single day. So if they miss a Tuesday, they can always look and see what they missed that day or so forth. And then from there, they can click on the day that they are working in or they need to go back and look at. And that's published at 7:30 every day. And it's housed in that day's folder. So they can find any notes that we do. I attach those. Any videos, instructional videos, any texts that we do will be located in Schoology as well. So it is a great resource. So our activities there are located also in the order in which we complete them. So if you look at your child's Schoology, they'll see task 1, task 2, task 3. So they'll know they need to start at task 1 and then move down to task 3 or 4 or 5. Sometimes they're a little bit longer than others, but that is just so kids know that they have to do task 1 before they get to task 2 or have to do task 2 before they get to task 3. So they are numbered that way. So like I said a little bit ago, is we use binders in class. If your learner is in person, we do have binders. They are set up in a very specific way. They are set up in that warm-up, study, create, share, just like how we run our class every day. So that's how learners stay organized, and that's how they house their stuff. I joke with the learners, like, I am so organized that I expect them to be organized, especially in middle school when they're changing classes and they have so much more responsibility. Staying organized is how they're going to be really successful in here. So we have warm-ups, free writes, notes, annotated short stories. Any assignments that I grade will also be in there as well. We will use Notability throughout the school year. I try to do a blend of both, but I just really value that paper to pencil, that just having that I think is really important. Membeing. Membeing is a vocabulary program we do district-wide. We do it every single week. The learners will train in Membeing 10 minutes a week. And then after that, we like to play with those words. So we will put those words in a Frayer model. We will write with those words. They will be expected to use them to grow that vocabulary in their speech and their writing. Learners do not have to do any Membeing time outside of class, only if they want to. That is... It does take Wi-Fi. It's not an app on their iPad, but they're always welcome to work on it should they want to outside of class. Writing. So as much as I love reading, I know writing is a skill that we need to develop and we need to constantly practice. So we do that really with those authentic writing experiences in my class. We do paragraph responses, we do free writings, we do writing to inform, writing to communicate, short stories, poetry. Some of the stuff I grade, some of the stuff I don't. I feel like in middle school, some kids get fearful of what they write, especially if it's something personal, of how somebody is going to receive it or take it. And I don't always grade all those things. I don't even look at all those things sometimes. But just that practice of writing, just the sheer volume is what we try to increase really in 6th grade. And to also get that stamina up to write longer pieces. We will write some process essays, so multi-paragraph. We will plan. We will have notes. We will go through the experience together, but we also have a lot that we just kind of put our thoughts down on paper because I think both are equally as important. So required classroom supplies, you probably have gotten several emails from me about this. They need to have headphones. I cannot say that enough. I tell the kids all the time, but I'm hoping to reach out to you parents as well. Please make sure they have headphones in their backpack. They can be a cheap pair. They really need those. They use them several times throughout the week. So those are really important. And I know they're not just using them in my class, they're using them in other classes. So if you could please make sure they have some in their backpack, that's awesome. They need a SSR book, which is an individually chosen book. SSR stands for Silent Sustained Reading. So they need to make sure they have a book. We go to the library. They can bring books from home, books off my shelf. Either way, they need to have a book that they're constantly reading on their own. And then the other thing that you've probably heard a lot from me or from your learner is our novel study. Our first one that we're doing is The Honest Truth. We will start that at the very beginning of October. So I'm asking that we try to get these books in between September 20th, September 25th. That would be fabulous. They need an actual copy of the book. If your learner does have some accommodations of oral, they're more than welcome to get a digital copy, but I'm asking for an actual copy of the book because we will annotate in them, we will write in them, we will highlight in them, we'll do all sorts of things with it. That book we read about 95% in class. However, learners will have some reading homework and you will be aware of what their reading homework is. The next one that we read after winter break is Lions of Little Rock. That's a historical fiction book about Little Rock, Arkansas, and about segregated schools. So we read that after the winter break. They will be required to purchase that as well. And then the third one is we do literature circles or book clubs in the springtime. And so they get to choose about like 8 titles to read from, and they get to choose one, and then they will have to have a copy of that as well. But you'll hear more about that throughout the year. So tutoring, something that's awesome in middle school, and that what we have done at North is we have tutoring every morning and every afternoon in the tutoring hub. It's in the library, so before school is 7:30 to 8. After school is 3:30 to 4:10. Something that we think is really important here at North is that they have access to a language arts teacher or to a math teacher or to a science teacher every single day in case they need help. Tutoring is also available during e-time periodically. Learners can sign up for it on their own, or it could be teacher assigned. So there's lots of times that I pull learners in for e-time just to get a little bit extra help as I'm monitoring them on a concept or a skill. Contacting your learner, I email. So it's very important for learners to check their email. I talk about that all the time in class. Check their email, check their Schoology updates, because I make sure that I want to keep everybody informed. So most of the time, parents, you are copied on the email as well. So I want to make sure that you're in the loop and you know what's going on. And learners are encouraged to email me as well. If they're at home and they're struggling with something or they don't understand something, I want them to email me. I want them to take on that responsibility. If learners don't know how to check their email, that is something that we talk about in class, but I can also send home an instructional video for you guys. So last but not least, the best way to contact me. I am easiest contacted through our email. So if you would like to contact me through there, learners are also able to message me through Schoology. I just ask, we talk about boundaries in here quite a bit, that we all respect boundaries. And so my boundary for responding to emails is 24 to 48 hours. Sometimes it does take me longer depending on what it is, and I apologize if it's taken me longer to get back to you, or in the future apology. And then I tell learners, like, after 4:05, I don't take my computer home. I'm not working at home. I want to be with my family, just how they want to be with their family, or they're at practice, or they have other requirements. So I ask that they respect that, and then don't expect anything back until after 7:30 in the morning the following day, or the day after that. So I try really hard to respect boundaries of that. So that's something that I ask in return. Again, I want to say that learners need to learn how to email. That is part of it. We're living in a digital age. It's not going to go away anytime soon. So parents, coach them through that if they need something, because I think that's a really great tool that they will need in their tool belt for the rest of their lives. So that's kind of it for my class. Always contact me if you have any questions, concerns. I'm pumped about the school year. We've already made some great experiences in here, and your learners are sweet and kind, and my heart is in 6th grade. It will always be in 6th grade in language arts. So I'm excited to get to know everybody more this school year, and feel free to reach out to me if you ever need anything. Thanks.